We would like to share a little bit about our role as a community advisory committee. We would also like to share how you can join us in our mutual goal of improving outcomes for children involved in the child welfare system. Each of us represents an area of expertise. To better understand our areas of expertise, you may go to azleg.gov and review Statute 8-459. Our members are independent of the Department of Child Safety. We seek to work in collaboration with the department to achieve our mutual goal of improving outcomes for children involved with the child welfare system. We do not have the authority to direct the department to take specific actions. However, we may offer suggestions for the department to consider based on the learning we do as a group in our Community Advisory Committee meetings. It is not our role to investigate individual circumstances, but rather work in collaboration to find meaningful, macro-level solutions. Many of the circumstances that have come to our attention from the public to this point have been deeply personal. We understand the complexity of navigating the child welfare system, and we recognize the painful and frustrating nature of some of your journeys. If you offer personal circumstances during public comment, we can listen, but we won't be able to take any specific action. We want your help and need your thoughtful feedback. If you are familiar with a macro-level child welfare situation that requires a solution, please share your ideas. We will consider your feedback. If you have information specific to an expertise represented by a panel, please direct your concerns and suggestions to that panelist. We would also like to hear your specific suggestions for solving the macro-level issue. We hope to work in partnership with you as we continue to enlarge the community of people advocating on behalf of children, families, and those who seek to serve them. For individual matters that may need attention, you may contact the Department of Child Safety, Office of the Ombudsman. The Department of Child Safety, Office of the Ombudsman strives to provide a conflict resolution process that is as neutral as possible. The DCS Office of the Ombudsman attempts to suggest actions that will be reasonable to all parties. Please note that the DCS Office of the Ombudsman does have some limits to their ability to intervene in matters under the jurisdiction of the court, personal issues, and does not make binding decisions or mandate policy. However, the Office of the Ombudsman can answer questions about DCS, provide resources, facilitate communication, and resolve case-specific concerns. This meeting will include 15 minutes for public comment. Please let us know that you are interested in sharing by filling out the Community Advisory Committee meeting speaker's card. Where are the cards located today? Are they up front? Located right up front. The committee will hear as many members of the public as possible. Due to open meeting laws, the committee cannot discuss items that are not listed on the current agenda. However, the committee may choose to study the matter and schedule for discussion at a later date. This is done so that the topics to be discussed can be noticed to the public prior to their discussion, and the members of the public can choose to join the conversation.
So we agreed to be the citizen review panel after August, or was it before August?
I believe it was after August.
Okay.
Of 2018.
So would that affect the reporting?
We had discussed at that meeting that we would continue with our reporting as we have, and have it be due in August, as we have the last few years.
Okay. Thank you.
I would recommend that since it's already February. Anything else on the citizen? Yes, Judy.
So if we have our report due in August, then we're not going to get a response till next June. So formally, the Citizens Review report was due in December as a draft. And so I wonder if it would be useful to make those dates closer together by the time our report is made with recommendations and then a response comes back.
So are you recommending change the date of our report to December?
If it is our Citizens Review report, because otherwise it's almost a year between the time our report's due and the time we get a response. So if we extend it from August to December, and then get some communication maybe with the department on our recommendations, and then by the time that they have to submit it, it's June. We have some time to work on that, I think, our recommendations.
I think we might have to check statute.
Yeah.
I believe it said August.
I think that we could resolve that by responding to your report earlier. We need to submit the response to the Citizen Review Panel report with our June report to the federal government, but we could respond to your recommendations earlier.
Because yes, the statute says it has to be submitted before August 15th.
Okay, one more question. Is that okay, Nicole? Okay, so since we agreed to be a citizen review panel after August, the information that's going to be used from the report that was submitted was be prior to us being agreeing to be a panel. How would that affect what's happening?
I don't think it has any effect. As I said before, your current role as a community advisory committee fits within the regulation of CAPTA. So, and CAPTA actually says that states can identify an existing committee to serve as a citizen review panel. So there's really no effect in you not, your recommendations that you provided will fit nicely into the citizen review panel report regardless of the issue you just raised.
Even though it was prior?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for answering that.
Nicole, it might be helpful at some point, and maybe even the department could provide us, listening to our input here, or we could have it in our minutes, a timeline that clarifies each of these things.
So, is there any issue with what you presented with giving open meeting law advice to this committee?
No, there's no issue in regard to that. And in fact, if you have questions, you can send those questions to me, and I'll let you know which ones I can answer and which ones I cannot answer. Any questions that you have regarding open meetings laws and things of that nature. I think that we worked on the public comment session last time, and so I have a lot of that legal advice with me. I have copies of it if you'd like to see that when you go into executive session. So any questions that you have, feel free to contact me. I'll answer the ones that I can. I just want to make sure that you understand that I'm not being disrespectful in any way if I can't answer the questions, just because of the duty that I have for the department.
Thank you.
Then, Madam Chair, I just would observe that because we have it agendized as the last item, number 4, I think we've got it validly before us to take a look at that open meeting law advice that's already been given to the subcommittee. And if council is here, we at least have the option to go into executive session today and receive
Yeah,
that legal
that's what
advice
I
and
would
those resources.
suggest. I think what we might want to do is have a brief comment period, and then, and I'm going to see how much time we have. We could have 10 minutes for public comment, and then we could go into executive session. I don't want people having to go out and come back. There are people who have, we're going to have to probably limit it to about a minute. Felix is going to come and tell us some things. Thank you. Oh, wow. Let me see how many there are. We have 10. We have items before us. We have the executive session, and we have to set the agenda for the next meeting. And we're going to need at least 20 minutes for that. So I'm going to open up for comment, public comment, 1 minute apiece. And I'll call people out in the order that I have these papers. And then if you will wait, and we will then go into executive session in
Yes,
10
ma'am.
minutes.
For a list of maybe reporting requirements between the two different
Like a timeline.
pieces.
A timeline. I I think the timeline, is Katherine here? I can't.
She just left.
She just left, okay. As I understand the timeline,
She's right there.
Katherine, could you just come for a minute on the timeline on the reporting? I believe that we can make the timeline for your federal reporting match up with our timeline. So the next item on the agenda, we don't have, with the public comment process and the Community Advisory Committee DCS email inbox. We have discussed various aspects of taking public comments, subject to the open meeting law requirements.